What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Bio Competitive Life. I'm Charles Chapman. Once again, coming to you today, as promised, it's video a day, Monday through Friday. Today is Tuesday, so we're going to try to get this off here. Not a lot going on in terms of breaking news today, so I've been kind of just perusing Twitter, ESPN, Fox, all these different places looking for something interesting that stood out to me as being something interesting worth talking about. And not a lot going on today. The biggest thing that stood out to me so far this morning while I had my cup of coffee was the NBA. Adrian Wojnarowski has came out, said that the NBA has a memo that's been released that's got some interesting news on it. And I don't know if you guys have heard this. A lot of you guys probably not really following the NBA in the bubble. But on Friday, Michael Malone, the Denver Nuggets head coach, in his post-game presser after the Nuggets game 2 against the Clippers, came out and said, "Hey, I gotta get something off my chest. You know, players are allowed to have guests in the bubble, starting with the semifinals, the second round playoff action, as they should. But it's not. The referees are allowed to have guests, starting with the conference finals." And but that's good and great. But he's upset that the coaches weren't allowed to have guests. He feels like the coaches should be allowed to have their families around. They've been in this bubble for 60 days without seeing their families, and it should be allowed for them to have their families there with them in this bubble. If that's where they're going to be for the next, month or two. And this has been an ongoing discussion. This isn't nothing really new that just suddenly, boom, out of nowhere. This has been an ongoing discussion between the National Basketball Association and the, I believe it was the players. Let's see. It's been an ongoing discussion for several weeks between the NBA and the National Basketball Coaches Association leadership. So they've been going back and forth on this for a while. And they finally have come out and agreed to allow coaches to have guests. The only kicker is this is going to be, it's kind of a weird deal, but between the executive director David Fogel and president Rick Carlisle, they've agreed that guests who must be family or longtime friends would travel to Orlando either on a single plane or a vehicle Monday and begin a 7-day quarantine in Orlando. Per the memo, each guest, like others in the bubble, will undergo daily coronavirus testing. And I like the precautions that they're taking here, the 7-day isolation, daily testing, and stuff like that. But I gotta be honest, I'm kind of worried about this whole thing, to be honest with you, because I feel like the NBA has done so much better than Major League Baseball in terms of their bubble. Major League Baseball is still playing in stadiums throughout the country because they don't really have one set place where they can play, 30 games a day or something like that. So they're still playing their games, traveling from stadium to stadium, Busch Stadium, Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium, So, but there's not exactly a bubble there. And early in the season, teams paid for that when half their teams were out with the coronavirus. And they had to bring in AAA and AA guys that have never even come close to earning a spot in a major league roster and play professional baseball for their team so that they can continue to play games. And that was a problem with Major League Baseball's bubble. The NBA has not had that problem. They have been able to successfully finish out the regular season, play first round of the playoffs. They're in the second round right now. They've been able to successfully do this because they have this bubble that works for a reason. It works for a reason, because the precautions that they've taken, the testing that they do daily with the players, suspending players 4 games if they miss a test, which is driving home how important those tests are. So now you want to sit there, for me, from a statistical analysis standpoint, risk gets higher when you add more people to the bubble, or when you add more people to that pool of exposure. So I'm not sure how perfect they can be in terms of vetting these people as they come through and sanitizing. Are they going to sanitize these vehicles? Are they going to sanitize suitcases, clothes, things like that? Are people going to bring pets? you know, and it's just, I don't know how well. I mean, it worries me a little bit to sit there and say, we're going to add more people to this thing and we're going to see how well it goes. And is it truly a bubble then when you add more people on the campus? And here's the kicker, though. That one thing that does reassure me a little bit, they're limiting each team, which includes coaches, heads, front office staff, and executives. 10 people, 10 guests, no more than 10. And it looks like it's just 10 per team. I don't know if that's 10 per team or 10 per person. If it was 10 per person, that's a lot of people. So I imagine it's 10 per team, which is good because then you're looking at an extra, 300, 200 people maybe, something like that, 250. There's not that many people, not that many teams left right now. There's only 16 teams in the playoffs. So yeah, that an extra 160 people being added to the bubble, not bad, but it still kind of worries me because we're this close to being able to crown an NBA champion, and I'm worried that we might not get to finish that because of somebody slipping up and missing something, and then the virus getting into that bubble. And so that's the thing that really worries me with that. Major League Baseball, there was a question there whether or not we'd actually be able to finish a 60-game regular season in an extended playoff format that they're trying to do. And now we're even in the spot with Major League Baseball where they're trying to cram as many games as they can into a short amount of span. I think it's like 40 games in 30 days for some teams, 30 games in 20 days for other teams. There's a lot of doubleheaders. The Cubs and the Cardinals are finishing off, just this weekend, finished off an unprecedented 5-game series with 2 doubleheaders just so they can finish that season. Finish that series that they had missed out on earlier in the season because of positive tests. So I'm really worried about the NBA and whether or not this is a good move to bring more people into the bubble, because that drives the risk up exponentially in terms of, can people contract this virus, and will it contaminate the bubble a little bit? Because I mean, that's just what happens when you introduce more people to the situation. It drives up that risk. And I'm kind of worried about that. I really would like to see us finish this season out. You know, it was looking like Milwaukee versus the Lakers for the NBA Finals. That's what it looked like. And right now, Giannis is out. He's hurt. The Greek Freak is injured. It looks like Milwaukee might get bested by a Miami Heat team that has not lost at all in the playoffs. They swept the first round. They're sweeping the second round series. It's getting really, really interesting for the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference. What's going on in the East? What's going on in the West? And Houston is giving the Lakers a run for their money. The Clippers are tied up in a pretty good series. So there's just no telling what's going to happen here. And I really would like to see this play out and see what we can have in terms of an NBA champion in an NBA Finals. And hopefully this new memo, these new guests coming in, hopefully the NBA is able to do it the right way, and they're able to make everybody happy and make everybody feel a little bit more at home inside this bubble in Orlando, and we're able to continue to play basketball, because sports is back and we'd hate to see it go away. That's all I got for you guys today. Just some thoughts right there. My thoughts on a big deal. So let me know what you think below. Comment, like, share with your friends. Hit the subscription button below. Be sure to follow me for more sports thoughts and ideas. Guys, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Let me know if you have anything you want to hear me talk about, and we'll get down to the nitty-gritty. Peace out. Be safe.